I'm going to tell you a story of a subcontractor that scammed me $15,000 on these pergolas. Well, here's one. And here's number 2. That one right there, that's for a gym pergola. And he's going to have like ellipticals and little treadmills under there. Just something cool with a fan. This is a pergola that's for entertaining. So here, there's a bar. There's going to be a couch, a sofa, chairs, tables. So this one is going to be extremely nice and a good place to hang out away from the sun. And right in the middle, there's going to be a fan right here. That's the middle. So here's how the story went down. I was referred this job by one of my very good friends. His name is Matt Daly. I'll pop his Instagram right here. And he said, T, I got these customers that you have to meet. They're amazing. You're perfect for the job. And I said, awesome. So I met them and we proposed everything. I got numbers on this from a pergola guy, which on his website and online seemed like a very good job. And he came recommended. So I was like, this is a no-brainer. This guy's perfect. Because I've never done stuff like this. I've done pergolas, like basic stuff, but I've never done pergolas with metal posts and this really high-end finish with lights and ceiling fans and heaters. So I was a little skeptical in my ability and my company's ability to do this, because when I don't know how to do something, it's always best to hire a specialist. You don't go build your own car. You just go to Ford and go get a car. Same thing. I was like, why would I go learn how to build this when I can just hire a guy that only does this? That was my mentality, which is a great mentality, by the way. Just like plumbing. You don't go learn how to do gas lines. You just go hire a plumber. Electrician, same thing. Now that was the mentality. You have to keep thinking about that the whole way through. So I went in contract with this guy. In the beginning, it sounded very nice. He came out, he put these poles in, he put those poles in. Those poles were actually in the wrong place and we had to correct him. But, you know, honest mistake, whatever, it is what it is. But he did. He corrected it, put the poles in, sunk them in the ground, put concrete in there. Ta-da! All done. Next, we had to complete all of this because we don't want people in the way when they're doing the pergola. So I said, come back in about 2 months. Your poles are in. Everything's good to go. And then after we do the pavers and finish, we'll cover everything with tarps and you guys can come in and do your deal. And he said, awesome. So I gave him a little check. I think I wrote him a check for like $10,000 for the posts and the labor and all that stuff. And then for him to order all this stuff. So he said, no big deal. Wrote him a check. Here you go. Shook his hand. Said, great offer. We went on our merry way. We completed our stuff. And by the time it was ready for him to come back, I called him. I said, yo, we're ready. In about a week, he said, cool. I'll see you then. Came back, threw all this on. Everything was good. Here's the thing you have to understand when you're dealing with contractors and people that run a business is cash flow. How is their cash flow? Are they good? Are they responsible with money or are they not? That is a big sign and a sure way to tell if a guy is running a business in a good way or a bad way. If he's always having cash flow problems, if he's at 16 different job sites at the same time, that's 100% guarantee that something is not right and the books are not in order, the business is not in order, it's just chaos. I don't like doing business like that. I like everything very organized, slow and steady, one job at a time, finish this job, go to the next one. Just today, I went to go see a customer this morning and the customer was like, T, you told me you're going to be here 3 weeks ago. And I was like, I know, but I have to finish the job I'm at. I even showed him pictures. I'm like, look, this is where we're at. Please be a little bit more patient. I have to finish because once I come to your job, I will stay at your job. So I convinced him to give me another week. Now, this right here, one of the red flags that I should have caught in the beginning was this board. This is one long board. It's called a fascia board. It's about, I think, 25 feet. I'm not really sure. But what he did was he connected 2 pieces of wood. He put like a 16-footer and then plus a little short piece. And this whole roof was sagging. So I sent him a picture. I was like, yo, why is this like that? Why is there 2 pieces of wood? Oh, no, it's okay. We just put that there just to hold everything in, but I was going to get the wood. And I said, okay. Sounds good. So they did. They came back, took it out, put the new one in, bam, and everything was perfect. And I said, awesome, cool. Thanks a lot. Next, when they were doing these benches, he kept telling me, oh, you measured these wrong. It's actually more. It's going to be more money for these benches. And I walked through the numbers because he didn't even send me a contract. That was the first red flag. The subcontractor didn't even send me a contract. I had to make a contract with him based on everything that I wanted and send it to him, and he signed it. Usually it's the other way around. The guy you're hiring gives you a contract on the term and you have to agree on his terms. Not this way. I had to give him a contract. Now it's like, you don't have contracts? He's like, no, I usually don't do contracts. If you don't do contracts, you need to get in Goki and get the contracts program. Hit link is below. It's free. I'm going to literally save you tens and thousands of dollars because you need contracts. You cannot do business without contracts. Then it's just whatever the customer said versus whatever you said. That's a bad way to do business. Okay, now after he signed, everything was good, came back, started doing the work, and I had contracted with him also this deck right here. By the way, this is a very high-end job. This is not something that's like $10,000. This is hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. It has to be top tier, like top notch, very top tier. You can't have like little bullshit. So these boards, this is TimberTech. These are, the maximum length is 20-foot boards. Okay, so what they did is they connected all of the pieces of wood all in a straight line. See this straight line right here? They connected everything in a straight line, so you saw the seam. And the first thing I came and saw, and I was like, what the heck is this? And he's like, oh, well, the boards are not 20 foot long. I'm like, yeah, but why would you not stagger them like this, so you don't really see them? I'm like, that's the right way to do it. Why would you do it in another way? And he's like,
oh, well, the customer didn't say anything, so it's fine.
yeah, but why? Maybe if it was planned and designed to have a rug on here and a chair, okay, fine. Maybe. But this doesn't make any sense. So I was like, dude, this is no good. As they were taking everything out, he realized that they put the boards from there to here. And in order to get to here, you have to start there. So you have to take all those boards out and come this way. So he didn't want to do that. So what I had to do is, when we went our separate ways, is me and my guys had to come in here and take all these boards out and fix it. That took 2 days. 2 days of labor. That would cost me $1,600 in labor. Another thing that happened, when you're doing finished work, you have to pay attention to detail. This is not like dirt work where you can be off by half an inch, an inch. You have to be spot on because everything is finished work. This right here, so we fixed it, but this was probably the worst cut you've ever seen in your life. They didn't even use the right saw. They just used a skill saw. So they just ripped it. The guy was literally holding it, and he was going like this. And then when he put it in, it was like, oh, it doesn't fit. And then he literally takes his skill saw and again. So he's like grinding the wood instead of using the right method to make sure all the cuts are perfect. This is something a carpenter should know. But another thing was, his employees, no matter what you do, I know a lot of you are like, oh, subcontractors are the way to go. You don't need employees. Doesn't matter which way you go, you're still going to need employees, because when you hire the sub has employees. So you're going to deal with his people, or you're going to deal with your people. Jose and the team, they ended up fixing everything, all the mistakes from the other guy. And the one thing that really grinded my gears with the other company is the guy that was doing all this, every time there was a mistake and he had to fix it, he would throw a hissy fit. He would start swearing in Spanish and blah, blah, blah. He has a nasty attitude. So I told the guy, I'm like, dude, that guy, I never want to see him again. Get him the fuck off my job site. Out of here. I hate that guy. So he did. He took all his tools and he did. The other thing that really got me angry is, over there's a painter, right? So this sub, he included the staining of the pergola along with the work. So he had his paint guy come out, and his paint guy did a good job doing this. He painted this right here. He painted the posts right here. Very good painter. Everything was really nice. And then he did that pergola to cover all the holes. Because if you see, there's nails that go along this line to make sure that all the wood stays in place. So the guy, he came out and he literally started sanding against the grain of the wood. And then for the putty, they didn't even try to match the mahogany that we ordered. They just went to get any putty and started putting it in. So I don't know, this isn't my specialty, these pergolas, but I've learned so much right now. I thought that once you put the putty in, maybe it would transition into the color of the wood later on. That's what I thought. I was wrong. It did not. So the whole thing was white dots everywhere. Dude, I almost had a heart attack. I'm like, this is insane. So I fired his painter. I fired his ass. I told him, get off my job site. This is fucked. I called my painter, a guy that I've known for 6-7 years. He did the black fence right here. He painted this fence. He did a great job. And now he's had his guy. This is the third day where he's been doing sanding, he's been doing sealing, staining, trying to do the putty. Very, very, very tedious work, and a super professional needs to do it. But this process is very, very tricky. And I know a lot of you are like, well, T, this is your fault. You hired the guy. I know. I'm not saying it's not my fault. But what I am saying is, it's not my fault. Just kidding. It is my fault. I know. But he did, 100% he did scam me, because I paid him money. I paid him actually too much money. But fortunately enough for me is he measured so many things wrong and he priced so many things wrong that I still ended up being positive even with all the money I paid him. And I'm going to look at it this way. The money I paid him was a very, very expensive and stressful lesson on my end and the homeowner and my employees and Jose. It was stressful on Jose too. But now Applewood knows how to build these. Like, we will build these ourselves. We're not going to sub anything out anymore. This is so easy, so simple to do. All I have to do in the beginning is get the metal posts, then get 2 big pieces of wood holding everything, which is this right here. This is, I think it's a 6x12, I think. And then all these little truss joist things right here, whatever these things are called. I have no idea what those are called. And then after that's done, get a roof guy to do the roof and the metal and do all that. And then get an electrician to do all the wiring, because I already have a really good electrician. Another thing, his electrician that he hired, he only comes in after 3 o'clock every day. And for some reason, he decided he couldn't come in after I fired him because he was sick. He hurt his leg. Very unprofessional. I even told him, I'm like, bro, all the people you hired suck. Everybody sucks. Your deck guy sucks. Your painter sucks. Your wood guy sucks. They have a bad attitude. Every time I tell you something's not right, he always sided with his employees, and he came out and I was like, what the fuck is this? And he's like, okay, yeah, you're right. I was like, I know I'm right. And this is the problem. A lot of you are contractors and you have such a bad attitude. You have a horrible attitude and you don't understand customer's not always right. I would say most of the time customer's wrong. But when a customer is unsatisfied, what you'll do is sit there and argue with the customer. Never disagree with the customer. Never. I never disagree with any customer ever. I always say, I hear you, I understand. I'll look into it. I'll fix it. I'll get it done. Even when I don't know the answer to something, I always say, I'll look into it. I'll figure it out. You don't ever want to be the yes guy. You don't want to say yes to everything, but commit to figuring it out, whatever the problem is. This was a very good learning lesson, because now the next time we build a pergola like this, I got this. We got this so good. I'm going to know how to do everything. I'm going to know the whole building structure behind it. It's so simple. It's not that hard. And it's a learning lesson for sure, but it is what it is. The mistake was made. Now the solution. Now I have to take over anyway. And tomorrow my electrician comes in. He's going to do all the wiring to this thing. When I find someone amazing, like look at my guy for the granite. This granite cost $3,500 to install, plus the $2,000 for the piece of granite. But I found the best granite guy, and I've been using him for the last 7 years. Ever since I did my very first barbecue, I got so lucky. I found the best guy. I don't even go and shop around anymore. I just say I want it done. That's how it is. Same with the electrician, same with my painter, same with my gas guy. When you find someone good, use them. Use them over and over and over and over and over again. And I was really hoping to build that relationship with this guy because he came highly recommended, but he completely took a shit all over me in this project, and I'll never use him. I'm not mad at it. It is what it is. I learned the mistake I made, but at the end of the day, as long as I fix it, and you're going to come back and see this project when it's done, you're not going to be able to notice a damn thing. You're going to be like, shit, this project went perfect. No project goes perfect, and you got to know that. But as long as you have the commitment to fix it, you're in good shape. See you later.